by no coincidence, celebrates its 40th anniversary this October. So there's been a lot of information out about this expansion, but our plans have continued to evolve. I also thought this would be a great opportunity for you to see and hear from someone very important to all of Disney parks. He is a great champion of creative excellence at our parks, and he's also the Chief Creative Executive at Walt Disney Imagineering. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bruce Vaughn. All right, so we've got a lot going on. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling busy. I think this is the busiest Imagineering has been since its beginnings.
So can you tell us a little bit about Fantasyland in particular?
Absolutely. Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom is our most popular park. So the opportunity to reimagine this Fantasyland is actually not only a rare opportunity, but is something that is incredibly exciting for us. The big idea starts with that wall that you see up in that beautiful concept rendering. The wall both defines the castle courtyard on one side, but also allows us to imagine the fantasy forest that goes beyond it.
So, how about you take us in and give us a look around?
Sure, but before we go in, I want to explain what you're going to see. Whenever we build a new land or attraction, we create a detailed model. And we do this because we want to be able to visualize what the place will look and feel like when it's complete. Anyone who has seen any of these models knows that they're works of art, but for Imagineers, they're also very important tools. They help us determine sight lines, analyze guest flow, see the massing of blockwork, and get an overall sense of the aesthetics of the place. With all that said, let's take a flight through our model of Fantasyland. Now, as you can see, we've taken this opportunity to totally transform the Fantasyland experience. We've added topography so there will be little hills and meandering paths that reveal cottages and castles from our most beloved stories. We also have added a lot of trees and rivers and streams that we think will invite our guests to just sit around and relax in this place.
All right, so I love the look of it. A few more details, maybe.
Okay. Well, why don't we dive into the Little Mermaid attraction? As you all know, Ariel is one of our most popular characters around the world, and she finally got her attraction after all these years. How many of you have gone to the Little Mermaid attraction here at DCA? So you all know what our Magic Kingdom guests have to look forward to. And I love this attraction because we took a classic dark ride and we took it to a whole new level by adding some of the most sophisticated animatronic figures and a bunch of new special effects.
You know, actually, I had the opportunity to introduce the Legend ceremony this morning, and we just had Jodie Benson, the voice of Little Mermaid, become a Disney legend. So that's kind of a fun thing to start this. But so I look at this picture here, and I see this looks nothing like the thing that we built across the street. You want to talk about that?
I do. Can't get anything about you. So actually, this facade is very different than the one here at California Adventure. That's because here the facade is set on Paradise Pier. In Florida, we're going to be in Fantasyland. So the theming is completely different on purpose. In Florida, the guests will get to walk along the seashore and enter through Prince Eric's castle. We've also pulled the story out into the queue line in a way that we've never done before. Guests will help Scuttle and his friends go on a virtual scavenger hunt to collect who's-its and what's-its, with a few little surprises along the way.
So we all know that one of the most memorable moments for people at a Disney park is when one of our younger guests meets their favorite princess for the first time. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how we're making that a more special moment.
Yeah, we're taking the meet and greet experience to an entirely new level. And we're starting it with the Belle meet and greet in Florida. In this rendering, you can see that we've got the Beast Castle in the background, and in the foreground, we actually get to go into Belle's cottage. We want people to approach this cottage and wonder, what's going on in there? Well, I'm sure you all remember that Belle loves books and she loves stories. Well, when their guests go into this cottage, they're going to have an opportunity to help Belle tell those stories, act out those stories, and she's going to do it with a very exciting friend, Lumiere. We're going to bring him to life so he can host this attraction.
So you're saying you actually took a skinny 2-foot candelabra with these little arms and made it into an animatronic. Now that's significant.
That is. It actually is. That's right. It actually is a big deal. In fact, it's tricky enough to take a human scale figure and put all of the mechanics and everything you need into that. In fact, Lincoln is 6'4". Now we're dealing with this little candelabra, but it's an entirely different challenge to design in the air. In fact, this is one of the toughest audio animatronic figures we've ever worked on. But through a lot of innovative thinking, hard work, and collaboration with Disney Animation, we figured out how to bring Lumiere to life for our guests. And we've done it in a way that keeps him true to the scale and how he moves and expresses himself in a classic film. To do this, we used every trick in the book, and we even had to write some new ones, including creating a computer-generated Lumiere that has all the mechanical and physical limits of the motors and materials that take to make him up. Let's take a look at this model.
Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test, tie on napkin, Rob.
Now remember, that's not just a piece of CG animation like you see in one of our animated films. That's a digital tool that informs our Imagineers on how to design, build, and program an audio animatronics figure. And the work we've seen in our lab is incredible.
You know, this is the kind of thing that I really love. When our Imagineers can create something that our guests see and then go, wow, how did they do that? So I think this is going to be one of those things. All right, so I'd love to talk a little bit more about one of the things that we haven't talked about much yet, but something that I think will probably become a centerpiece of the Fantasyland expansion, and that is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster.
Yes. In fact, this attraction didn't even exist the last time we were here talking about Fantasyland at D23. We dreamt it up in the period between them. And I already think this is going to be one of our best and most popular family coasters. Now I say that because we're combining the best of our family thrill rides with the immersive storytelling of our classic dark rides. Plus, we're adding an entirely new ride system and some new special effects. Also, this is the first time in any of our parks where we focus specifically on the Seven Dwarfs and their story. One thing we love to do at Imagineering is find those moments in our films that make us say, I'd love to do that. We feel the scene in Snow White with the mine cars racing through the diamond mines is just that kind of moment. Now, this is an iconic scene in the movie, so we have to get it right.
Turns out you can't just buy a dwarf coaster off the shelf.
You cannot. That's very true. We did start with the vehicle, though, and we went through many iterations of the design. Because not only does it have to look good, it has to work. Next, we focused on the swinging motion of the vehicle. We needed to get a sense of how the motion of the buckets that you see in that film would work. So we bolted together a prototype, put it on the back of a pickup truck, and we drove it around our parking lot in Glendale.
Wait, hold on. I think we need to tell the story right.
Okay.
So they bolted together a prototype and put it in the truck, and then they made you and I ride it like first.
That's actually true. Hey, they said it was safe. I don't know. Oh yeah, it hurts. Anyway, once that ended happily, we moved on to the next step, which was to utilize our powerful previous tools. And much like we did with Lumiere, we started creating a virtual model. Now, this is a model of the ride vehicle and track layout, and we did this because we wanted to experiment with just how much motion would be right for our guests. Once we're satisfied, we created the entire attraction in the computer so everyone on the team could go on a virtual ride. This is the first moment we get to put together all of the elements that go into making one of these very complex attractions.
So, why don't you take us on the ride?
Well, we haven't shown this to anyone outside of Imagineering yet. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we see it? I guess so. All right, we'll show you.
They're going to say.
Now, I am going to do a little preface here. Keep in mind that what we're showing is not the whole attraction, but it is bits and pieces. It's just enough that give you an idea of how we use this tool to decide where we're going to place the figures, how long we'll be in a certain scene, begin to get a feel for the faster parts of the ride. I'm going to shut up and let's go for a little ride.
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 it's home from work we go.
It's going to be fun. I'm really excited.
One of the things that I feel like I'm going to appreciate is that amazing Imagineering attention to detail. It really comes through in the tools that they've created, that they build, which is why we thought it would be so fun for you to see it. Because, as you see, this is about picking out every moment in the ride and making sure that it would be as special as it could be. So we're really excited about the Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster. my 3 boys, by the way, can't wait at all to see it. So we're looking forward to rolling it out to you when it's ready. Thanks, Bruce. That was awesome. Thanks.
All right.